Welcome back to Stay Tuned with D.Rey. We're here with Riley Cote. So before the break, we were talking about, cannabis and you using it to heal yourself, not only physically, but emotionally. So I'll let you do it. But first of all, talk about the difference between run-of-the-mill weed, and as people know it, on the street or dealing, blah, 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 and actually using it for the right purposes. I guess the best way to put it.
Sure. Well, I'll go off by saying I don't like the word marijuana, so I'll use cannabis.
Okay.
And medical cannabis, recreational or adult use cannabis.
Yeah.
And then you got the other side of the plant, which would be under the industrial hemp law. So it's grown below 0.3% THC. So anything grown below 0.3% THC is considered industrial hemp or medicinal hemp. And then anything above is either medical cannabis or recreational cannabis. And I think all cannabis is medicinal to some degree. I mean, there's a calming agent that, manage stress, manage pain, help sleep. So whether you're doing it in a recreational setting, I think there is a therapeutic and medicinal value there.
Okay.
I think it's just a little bit misunderstood, and I think it's been outlawed for so long that there's, just a misunderstanding of what cannabis is and what it's not. So I land up focusing more on the industrial hemp side of things. Medicinal hemp, really focusing on the CBD, which is a cannabinoid, one of over 100 cannabinoids in the hemp and cannabis plant. But it also has the ability to really be this extremely useful and resource for industrial applications, building materials, fibers. The shirt is actually made of hemp. Food and fuel and the whole bit. So it's an unbelievable resource outside of the medicinal and therapeutic component that most people really don't know much about, and I think the low-hanging fruit right now is the CBD in that space. But anti-inflammatory, helps with pain. Again, managing the nervous system and calming stressors, helping promote sleep. And then, for me again, the brain component, the neuroprotectant properties. It helps, it really helped with my concussion issues, and there's a lot of studies with helping with PTSD for people that struggle with that. I know that there's a lot of similarities between athletes and military veterans. Obviously, two ends of the spectrum as far as one's getting paid and doing living a dream in a sense, and the other one's literally fighting for our freedom. But when you leave that environment, it is really an identity crisis, and there's a lot of PTSD that comes along with it, and and coming back and having a sustainable alternative to manage the daily grind and to help with these mental health issues. It's certainly been a game changer for me, and I know that it's impacting a lot of people in a positive fashion.
Okay. All right. So you spoke on the scientific uses of it, and it's so many of them. It's a super plant.
Right.
Why did it take us so long to get to this point where it was more accepted? Like 2 years ago, on 4/20, Bleacher Report releases a set of interviews, and one of them featured several guys from the NBA. Al Harrington was up there, Matt Barnes up there, and they started talking about this kind of underground culture of marijuana use in their league, and saying that you don't understand how many guys wouldn't be able to function and do what they're doing without it. Just to be clear, I am way more of an advocate for athletes using medicinal, I think that's the word, ways to help themselves instead of these pills. People don't understand, these pills are really, you see the epidemic already, these pills, it's not helping people. So weed is all a lot of people need. I ain't saying I'm one of them people, I'm just saying weed is all a lot of people need. So because that's always been it, why did it take so long for this to finally come to the surface?
Well, I just think it's the age of information. Ignorance is a choice, and I think the veil is slowly being peeled back. And I think these social media platforms and these all these different media outlets, the newspapers, everything. People are talking, be able to hear get their voices heard. I think back in the day when Prohibition began, there was I think 2 newspapers and 1 TV station. There's propaganda, and basically anything you saw in the newspaper, it was law, and it was real, and it was truth. And I think that now you're seeing that that couldn't be further from the truth. We've been fundamentally and systematically misled, and people are standing up for their freedoms. We should have the right to choose our medicine, and especially when it's derived from absolute Mother Nature. And I think there's a disconnect with the law and the human fundamental truths that exist. And I think, again, people are becoming more stand up. They're putting themselves out there and risking their jobs essentially for, the better good of the people and providing the solution. We have an opioid crisis on our hands.
Yes.
In my opinion, the root cause of the opioid crisis is cannabis prohibition. When you outlaw such a powerful pain management tool and anti-inflammatory,
people turn other things.
what else are you gonna lean on? A Tylenol 3 or a Tylenol or an opioid? And unfortunately, now we have a heroin crisis in this country, and I'd like to see them, put a little bit more emphasis on really trying to make a difference, and understanding that cannabis is a really powerful tool that can help people get off these pharmaceutical drugs, get off alcohol when when there's addiction issues. Because I've seen it in my world. It's not a gateway drug; it's an exit drug.
Yes.
It's a gateway to wellness, and I can speak for myself. And in my network, there's so many healing success stories, and we just need to keep telling those stories and getting the good word out there. I think the age of information has helped. Help people use their platform and bring this conversation to light.
Okay. All right. So, the cannabis space, what do you feel like a world, because pharmaceutical companies, they run a lot. They have a lot of money.
Sure.
And that's part of the reason why it's been so broadcasted.
Right.
What do you think a world completely running on cannabis looks like?
Well, I think I think there's a place for some of these other drugs in emergency situations. I think only a small percentage of people dying and having these really tragic events happen or come from emergencies in that world. We're talking about chronic illness and chronic disease and managing chronic pain and anxiety and these things that, if aren't taken care of in a sustainable fashion, lead to more disease states. So I honestly believe cannabis could essentially wipe out 90% of the drugs. Honestly, I look at it as a wellness tool. I mean, it's I haven't touched a pharmaceutical since I retired in 2010. My last 2 surgeries, just cannabis, and I've proven to myself that I can manage pain in a really sustainable fashion, from post-operative surgery to manage my own anxieties and treating my own concussion issues with the same exact plant. And I understand there's extreme cases and they might need something a little bit more extreme, especially in emergencies, but that's an exception to the rule. We're talking about chronic, just chronic disease and just managing the daily grind of life, which people are stressed out. We're a stressed out society. We need it is, and we just need something to calm our nervous system that's not going to result in an addiction. And I don't know anybody that's actually addicted to cannabis. It's you could argue that it's habit forming. But there's no physical withdrawal. And if you want to compare that to alcohol and opioid, even caffeine, all very legal, and have a negative impact on public health. So, and we just need to be honest with these conversations. You want to mix in refined sugar, which is, in my opinion, the definition of a Schedule I drug. No medical value and highly addictive. We don't really separate substance when we talk about substance abuse. We penalize the outlawed drug, the illegal drugs, illicit ones, but not the legal ones. Those are fine. You can have an addiction on those and just come to our program and we'll get you off that with our drugs. And that's the system.
It's the system. Thank you. You said it. It's the system. Most people, it's the miseducation.
It is.
Like most people, there was a test that was put out there. A guy had a set of rats, and he gave them cocaine, which sounds like a Seth Rogen movie, and he gave them sugar, and then he took both away for a couple of days, and when he re-released them, they all went to sugar. And people don't understand how addictive that is because of the miseducation, and sugar's in everything. So we think, oh yeah, it's fine. Refined sugar is good. And so much of your brand, Body Check Wellness and Athletes for Care, is about the education of it. So what is the main takeaway, or what do you want people to stay tuned with your brands? And just the education behind cannabis. I think it begins with awareness. Awareness of your environment, awareness of your body, and understanding how certain foods or substances react when you're consuming them. And once you're mindful of that, you have a pretty good idea of what is good for you and what's not. I mean, our body's DNA has almost ancient DNA, where we can actually
we know. You
Yes.
know. You know what I mean? You can ask a 2-year-old, is it the apple or the Snickers bar healthier? And they know.
Yeah.
But it becomes a discipline, a behavioral issue.
Okay.
It's easier to just go to the thing that tastes better versus making the proper choice. So I think there's an education to just becoming more awareness, but also in the space of cannabis, there's a lot of misinformation.
Yes.
There's a lot of just fluff out there, and it's just kind of reeling it in and simplifying it. Human fundamentals aren't that complicated, but we complicate them with science and misinformation, and we're so confused that we don't know the truths anymore. And I think the biggest thing for me is just is really just oversimplifying it. Cannabis is one of the oldest plants known to man, and is co-evolved with humans. It's a plant, and understanding it from that perspective. But when you understand a compound like CBD, we haven't even scratched the surface of all these other cannabinoids, but we don't really need to know everything there is to the cannabis plant. All we need to know is that it works. And I know in the science world they'll say, well, that's just anecdotal, but we need to merge the anecdotal stories with science, so people can just feel a little more comfortable knowing that these products actually are validated through science, because we live in a world, we live in a scientific world, and I understand that, but really just really then sitting back and being honest with the things that you're currently putting in your body and saying, listen, is that good for me? Is that really good for me? Even though it's legal, is it really good for me? And being honest with what science is out there on the cannabis plant, and saying, well, there's a lot of people healing from this plant. Maybe there's something to it, and exploring. Again, there's enough information on the web. Read both sides of it. Understand, prohibition and what happened there, and how we went wrong, and then understand, where we are today. And there's more than enough stories out there, but the educational component is key in my opinion. But it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be reading novels on this stuff. It's just understanding this on a surface level enough to, for you to go out of your comfort zone and lean on a sustainable tool.
Okay, my man. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for educating people. Cannot stress this enough. Like any athlete out there that's hearing this, make sure that through your channels and your team that it's okay, because like Riley shed light on, like there's a lot of times where like someone might think it's okay to take it, but if your team or program hasn't approved that yet, it can get you jammed up for real. So like make sure you do your research on all of this stuff. Like I said, I love the passion you speak with when you want people to understand that there's a better way to heal yourself, and not just physically, mentally.
That's it.
Than a Tylenol or Advil or something like that. So thank you for all that you're doing, for athletes. Thank you for being on the show. And
thanks for having me.
This has been Riley Cote on Stay Tuned with D.Rey, man. Stay tuned with them. Thank you. Oh yeah.
All right.
We gotta keep talking.
Oh yeah, we do, yeah.
It'll die out right here.
Right.
I know we were over our mark, but I was like, I refuse to let this shit stop. I'm sorry, like we have to get this.
The 8-minute segments, is that what it is?
It was probably like 9 or 10, but I don't give a shit. It's fine.
Well,